Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about carpal tunnel syndrome and 3 ways that you can sort of give yourself a self-test to figure out whether or not you may have it or not. This is going to be really good for DJs and music producers that tend to get wrist pain when they're either producing, mixing music, or even performing on stage. So the 3 things that you can do is to first, number 1, is the Tinnell Test. And so the Tinnell Test is you take your wrist and you take a couple fingers of your other hand and you tap on the palm side of your wrist. And so you're going to do that for 10 seconds. And as you do that, what you're going to check for is you're going to see is, 1, do you get that pain that you usually get when you're either making music or mixing music? Whenever you tend to get it, do you get pain with it? The second thing you're looking for is, do you get any tingling along with it? And so if you get any sort of pain or tingling when you do the Tinnell test, which is tapping on your wrist, and it's not super hard, but it's just with moderate pressure right on the crease of your wrist, because that's where your carpal tunnel is. You do that for about 10 seconds, and if you get any of that pain or any of that tingling, then that is going to be a positive sign and one indicator that you may have carpal tunnel syndrome. The next thing that you can do is what's called a Phelan test. So the Phelan test is you take both of your hands and you're going to put the backs of your wrist next to each other. You're going to press them together and you're going to hold here for 30 seconds. And what you're looking for is, if you do have carpal tunnel syndrome, you're likely going to get tingling with this, or you're likely going to get pain with this. So for example, if I had carpal tunnel syndrome in my left hand and I did this, I may not feel anything at first, but after a while, let's say around 15-20 seconds or so, if I start to develop any sort of increase in numbness, increase in pain, then that would be a positive sign for that Phelan test. And once again, another indicator that I might have carpal tunnel syndrome. And then the last thing that you can do is you can actually just do a sensation test. So a lot of times with carpal tunnel syndrome, there'll be numbness and tingling associated with your thumb, index finger, middle finger, and half of your ring finger. A lot of times it's maybe not textbook like that, but that's a lot of times what you should feel. And so what you can do is, ideally you wouldn't use your finger, you'd have like a pen or something, but you would take a pen, or I'll just use my finger in this case. For proper testing, you should probably close your eyes so you can at least take that piece of it out, and you would take your finger or pen and you would touch your thumb and just lightly stroke each of your fingers. And this is going to be the most subjective of the tests, but you basically determine, hey, do all of the sensations of my fingers feel roughly the same? And so you're just lightly tapping each one, or lightly kind of brushing against each one. And so, for example, if I say, hey, well, my index finger and middle finger were like significantly less sensitive than my other fingers, then that may be indicative that you may have carpal tunnel syndrome. And so those are 3 tests that you can use. So the first one is that Tinnell sign, so tapping on the wrist. If you get any numbness or tingling with that, that is a positive test. The second one is the Phelan, putting your wrist together, for holding that for 30 seconds. If you get any pain or numbness or tingling with that, that's a positive sign. And then the last one, checking for sensation, certainly with both hands too, closing your eyes and then lightly brushing against each of your fingertips. And if you do have any numbness on your on the pads of your fingers, especially for your thumb, index finger, and middle finger, then that is a positive sign. And so the more of those tests that you have positive, then the more likely that you may have carpal tunnel syndrome. And then one of my other videos that I'll post, I will go over a few exercises that are really helpful for carpal tunnel syndrome. So I hope you found this helpful. If you did, give me a thumbs up. And if you found it super helpful, then go ahead and subscribe to my channel, where I will post a lot more content related to dealing with pain, improving posture for the DJ and music producer community. And I will see you in the next video.